25 years of impactful and fearless journalism. Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. Our digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrady, Jubilee FM in Keta, and Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed App, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. And in this edition, authorities of Jema District Hospital yet to take delivery of chemicals to fight stench in facility as bodies of Kintampo accidents begin to rot. We are live at the hospital where more bodies are being identified. Meanwhile, Transport Minister meets transport unions following the Kintampo accident. Also, there are concerns over preparedness to deal with the coronavirus at some of Ghana's land borders, and they've been questioning the decision.
If coronavirus isn't so good, then seriously, as Ghana, we are in a colossal screw up. Because on my way back, no form of medical check whatsoever.
We hear from authorities who say they are investigating the claims of operational lapses at the Togo border a day after 16 directors of health across the country met over the disease.
Having mentioned this, I will quickly let head of hotel to contact the officer in charge at Aflao and see why was that lapse, if there is any truth in that one. And later, an old woman's last wish.
Before I die, I want to also sleep on a mattress. Now, I don't even have a mattress.
That's a story about the poverty of people in Ghana's northern regions. We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And in our very first story, authorities of Jema District Hospital say they are yet to take delivery of chemicals to fight stench in facilities as bodies of Kintampo accident victims begin to rot. Residents around the hospital are complaining about strong stench emanating from the morgue, and morticians at the hospital say they are overwhelmed by the numbers as the bodies begin to rot. So far, only 3 out of the 31 persons who died have been identified. We'll get the latest from Adoma Firm's correspondent Riafi Akenten, who will join us live shortly. But the Kintampo Tamale Road specifically has been tagged as one of Ghana's most dangerous roads, as thousands of lives have been lost on that stretch alone. Just in case you may have forgotten, we'll hear a report that reminds us of all the gory accidents that have occurred on the Kintampo Tamale Road.
She lost her husband and her only child in a gory accident that claimed over 70 lives on the Kintampo Tamale Road on the 22nd of March, 2019.
Mrs. Kanono, Nikunu neba wedi 3 years, and then Nikunu amu to 2 years.
But that was not the only accident that shook the nation. On February 17, 2016, 53 people died when a Metro Mass bus and a truck rammed into each other along the same stretch. More than 30 people sustained various degrees of injury. Then on April 16, 2018, 4 people were reported dead in another accident there. In September 2019, another horrific accident occurred. This time, 8 people were killed, many more injured. In the year 2018, the National Road Safety Commission, now an authority, labeled the Kintampo Tamale stretch one of the 13 most dangerous highways in Ghana. The report revealed that between 2004 and 2011, that stretch alone had recorded 939 road crashes with 2,523 casualties. The Kintampo Tamale Highway has been described by many as a death trap, and it's evident when you drive along the stretch, lined with mangled vehicles.
Holy Ghost fire!
some passengers praying to God before a bus sets off. But it appears most of these accidents are not what they are thought to be. They are actually acts of men.
That's the story state of the Kintampo-Tamale stretch. We go back to the Jema District Hospital, where authorities say they are yet to take delivery of chemicals to fight stench in the facilities as bodies of Kintampo accident victims begin to rot. Adom FM correspondent Wiafe Akenteng joins us now. Wiafe, give us the situation and how bad it is this afternoon.
Well, like we indicated earlier on, so far 2 bodies have been taken away, remaining 29 of them. The stench keep on coming, but just before you call, the hospital administrator hinted me that they've now taken delivery of some chemicals to try to control the situation.
Well, but we are told that the hospital authorities say they are yet to receive chemicals that will help fight the stench in the facility. Have they said why the delay and when it's going to come?
Yes, according to them, they were using the ordinary ones, the Azar and others, as of yesterday. But there's not so much that they needed to go for more powerful chemicals, and that caused the delay. But for today, right now, as I speak to you, they have gotten delivery of the chemicals and yet to hand over to the mortuary for them to also add on to their processes.
Well, have more bodies been identified as we speak?
Come again?
I'm asking if more bodies have been identified and collected yet.
So far, only 5 of them have been identified. Earlier, I want to tell you that the bus driver, he was really identifiid, and the family took the body to the cemetery. The burial has been done already. Then that 13-year-old girl too, the mother happens to be one of the surviving the pregnant woman, of course. So the family, they've also been there, and just this morning they've taken the body away for burial. So as I speak to you, it is left with 29 of the bodies. Yet 3 other people have also identified. Families have identified their relatives yet to be taken away. We also indicated to you earlier that that of the policeman has also been identified, but the family says as it stands now, it becomes the police administration issue. They are unable to take the body away, so it is still among the 29 bodies at the mortuary.
Thank you very much. That's Wiafe Akenteng. He's Adom FM's correspondent. Well, exactly a year ago, after over 70 people died from a road crash on that stretch, President Akufo-Addo gave out a charge to the agencies involved. We'll bring you that shortly, but first, even before the president spoke, there was an action plan in 2018 to deal with road accidents. My colleague Kojo Yankson joins me with details of that. Kojo, what does it say?
Well, there were 3 key areas of action that the president tasked a committee to carry out. Now, this committee comprised the ministers of Interior, Transport, and Roads. And the first area of action was to do with education. They were to, and I quote, resource the National Road Safety Commission to scale up public education and sensitization on road safety with an additional 6.5 million Ghana cedis from the Road Fund. Under the second area of enforcement of road traffic laws by the police through spot fines by automation of MTTD operations was their first task, followed by a task to partner with private towing companies and Nationwide Traffic Management and Enforcement Limited to vigorously enforce regulations. And finally, under engineering, they were to resource the Ghana Highway Authority, Department of Urban Roads, and Department of Feeder Roads with at least 335 million Ghana cedis a year to provide signage and road markings for roads over a 3-year period. And this was all as a result of a meeting held between the presidency and some stakeholders way back in April 2018.
And were these actions carried out?
Well,
remains to be seen.
We can give progress on some of them, particularly the funding of the National Road Safety Commission. But the others, there are question marks.
Now, listen to the charge the president gave the Roads Ministry, the police, and other agencies in reference to the action plan of 2018.
Last year, I set up an interministerial committee composed of the Minister for the Interior, the Minister for Roads and Highways, and the Minister for Transport to examine and propose measures to deal with the increased state of road accidents in the country. The committee has concluded its work and has made recommendations for the consideration of the Police Council. As the police is the institution charged with the regulation of traffic on our roads, it is my hope that the recommendations will be speedily acted upon and outlawed as soon as possible. As we can all see, the issue is urgent.
So that was the charge back then by the president in 2018. Now, the Transport Ministry in the last few minutes have been holding a news conference. My colleague PSA Nanaya Osafo is there and joins us on the phone. PSA, what has come up at this press conference so far?
Yes, Emefa, so far the minister has revealed that at least 400 people have died through road accidents since Christmas 2019. That's in the period of about 2 to 3 months. And now he said mainly the meeting was not about him dictating, but opening room for the drivers here. About 50 executives from the transport industry, GPRTU, VIP, and other RNS are all gathered here to share thoughts on that. He has also assured them that whatever the conclusion is drawn from here, he will make sure whatever in his power that is binding and that the laws are respected. He has appealed to the media that when it comes to transport issues, we should avoid giving too much room to drivers, particularly when they are on the wrong, using the media to hit back at the police, since this reduces their effectiveness and efficiency in enforcing the laws.
Well, PSA, has he touched on the recommendations that the committee gave in 2018?
Well, so far there's been no mention of that, but we are still here, still monitoring. And as and when those details come up, we'll be serving it to our listeners.
And well, that press conference is still underway, and my colleague PSA Nanaya Osafo will give us more subsequently. Now, concerns over preparedness to deal with coronavirus at some of Ghana's land borders is being questioned as Togo, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso all record cases of the deadly disease that has claimed over 4,000 lives so far. Early this month, Health Minister Kweku Agyemang-Menu, after a tour of the airport and other designated holding centers with President Akufo-Addo, noted the country's land borders have been put on high alert to check entrance from neighboring countries.
The same measures that we have put in place in the Kotoka International Airport are the same things that we are replicating along all the land borders, especially the two major ones, Enugu and Apawu. But we haven't forgotten about the approved routes across length and breadth of our country, as far as Paga, the Gonokrom and Badukrom and the Sampa area. Everywhere across the country, we are on high alert. And now we have got some of our directors who are moving around to actually check, just like the president went around, to make sure that they have taken our advice and instructions very seriously, and they are working on them.
Now, 2 days after the health minister's announcement, this Ghanaian who came into Ghana from Togo, which has recorded a case of the virus, has been narrating his experience at the border with Daniel Dazi.
Well, if coronavirus is in Togo, then seriously, as Ghana, we are in a colossal screw-up. Because, honestly, Daniel, there was no form of check. On my way back, they took my passport, asked me where I went to, what I went to do, and that was it, stamp. No form of medical check whatsoever. I think the only thing they were concerned about was whether or not you had the legal right to enter or not. So on our way to Togo, there was a bit of a kerfuffle. The guy who came for my stamp, for my passport, wanted some money before he stamped it to prove that I'm going to Togo. I told him I was not going to pay any money, and he left angrily. And so I had to go back to the border guys and tell them, hey, this is my passport, I'm going to Togo, will you stamp it? So I could have easily entered Togo without my passport being stamped.
That's a Ghanaian who came into Ghana from Togo, which has recorded a case of the virus, narrating his experience to Daniel Dazi. Now, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie, says they are looking into the claims of lapses at the Aflao border area, which is one of the high traffic entry points. But he's also been speaking about outcomes of a day-long meeting between health officials and the 16 directors of health on the way forward in dealing with the disease if it gets into the country.
the idea was to assess and get first-hand information what they have been reporting of the preparedness of the various regions. And we had already gone to some of the regions. The Director General and myself have been to some of the regions to assess what they are doing. Clearly, they are doing quite a lot of things, not very different from what we are doing at national level. Whatever mechanism you put up here should just run down through the region, and the regional directors also have the responsibility to ensure the districts and the health facilities and even the community activities are adequately done. And those are the things that we deliberated on and discussed. And based on the information we received, we are quite happy about the progress so far.
And the financial commitment to this has been forthcoming?
Indeed, we have a master plan. And this master plan has been put to, we've added cost to it. And we have some amount that we anticipate to get the things. And most importantly, this has been broken into short-term, mid-term, and long-term. At any time, what I require as the lead in the operational activities is that when we need specific things, you rarely mention PPEs. How do you get a PPE, which has already been costed in the plan? So we go to the DG, the minister, he provides the PPEs. When we require place for holding, place for treatment, the logistics for case management, logistics for laboratory confirmation, these things are provided. So for now, I think we are doing well as a country, and what we have no reason to be worried about our preparedness.
Dr. Bedu Sarkodie is Director of Public Health of the Ghana Health Service. Away from coronavirus and the country's preparedness, failure to check the activities of illegal miners or galamsey could create tension with Ghana's neighbors. That's the warning from environmental experts who say galamsey does not only pose a threat internally, but also to neighboring countries. It comes as concerns are raised about the decision by government to withdraw the military components from the Operation Vanguard Task Force. Speaking on Newsfile, Executive Secretary of the Water Resources Institute, Ben Yao Ampoma, warned galamsey, if not checked, will continue to cause transboundary pollution for Ghana's neighbors.
We forget that we share most of our water bodies with our riparian countries. When we talk about riparian, we mean our neighbors that we have a common relationship with in terms of our water. If you take Tano and Bia, we share with Cote d'Ivoire. And if you remember, I think in February 2017, they made a complaint to Ghana that we had polluted their waters, especially the beer. They have the beer as one of their sources for a province. I think they call it Bianwe or something like that. And at that time, they had seized water supply to their communities based on the quality, the stability of the water. Okay. And they had data to, as it were, support the case that the values were said that the activities were not from Cote d'Ivoire.
That's the Executive Secretary of the Water Resources Commission, Ben Yao Ampoma. Let's head to Yendi now, because the National Democratic Congress says the Akufo-Addo government is deceiving residents of Nakmachi in the Yendi constituency in the northern region about the true state of the dam it claims it's constructed for them as part of the NPP's One Constituency, One Dam project. Speaking at the site of the proposed dam in its Moment of Truth series, the NDC's communications officer, Sami Jamefi, noted the projects in most constituencies have not been done due to provision of substandard excavators, shoddy execution, or poorly constructed work.
In the spirit of evidence-based discourse, we have brought you to the One Village, One Dam site in order to expose the deception behind the so-called flagship One Village, One Dam initiative of President Akufo-Addo. Indeed, we have always maintained that the One Village, One Dam promise is a Trojan gift, deceptive in appearance, and insincerely packaged to hoodwink the good people of Northern Ghana for their votes. True to our words, the shoddy execution of these One Village, One Dam projects has amply vindicated our long-held position that the whole talk about One Village, One Dam by then candidate Akufo-Addo was a ruse meant for electoral gain and nothing more. The One Village, One Dam ponds and dugouts government is delivering in the north constitutes a huge financial loss to the state because they have been poorly constructed and cannot serve their intended purpose nor stand the test of time.
Well, my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson joins us on the phone lines from Yendi for more of what the NDC has been saying about this particular project, the One Village, One Dam. Well, Parker, they've also hinted that when the NDC administration comes back to power, they would prosecute those who are awarded these contracts. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yes, Emefa Apawu was clear in his mind that what we are currently seeing is causing financial loss to the state. So the minister responsible for Special Development Initiative, Madam Hao comes in, and other government officials who are involved in this policy will face prosecution. They will answer for the crimes that they have committed to the public purse. And for one interesting thing that Sami says again is that they are going to compare what the Akufo-Addo administration has done and that of what the elsewhere John Dramani Mahama administration did. So they will move the media around to view the construction of the dam under Akufo-Addo and also that of former President John Dramani Mahama. And then conviction is that John Dramani Mahama's dam that he constructed are still fit for purpose and serving the irrigation needs of the people.
That's my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson all the way from Yendi for the Moment of Truth series currently underway there. We have more subsequently, of course. But policy think tank Imani Africa is questioning the EC's decision to award a contract to a company it alleges has a reputation of bribery, procurement breaches, and failing to meet contract requirements in various countries. The France-based company Sales Gemalto, according to the think tank, has been contracted by the EC to supply Ghana's biometric election management system. Imani argues the EC had stated the questionable reputation of other disqualified companies as justification for its decision to award the contract to Thales. Vice President of Imani Africa, Bright Simmons, says Thales has a reputation that even Satan will be scared of. Listen.
We started digging. It's like a pattern. It's an amazing pattern. This is a company that today is under investigation in South Africa for bribing President Jacob Zuma and his people. This is a company that in Gabon was more or less run out of that country by NGOs because they went to corrupt the electoral process there. This is a company that in Cambodia got itself into trouble again with the World Bank. This is a company that went to Estonia, told them they can do ID cards for them. This is something so bad that the government couldn't use it, and the government is suing them 150 million euros. My argument is not that if you are like this, you shouldn't get a contract in the world. My argument is that you cannot say one company has reputational risk because somebody threatened them in Philippines, and then you choose a winner which has reputational risk that even Satan was scared of. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. And my argument is that if you have such a company, and after all of this, like this is secret, you still like them, but you don't like the other company that has more track record because you say somebody threatened them in the Philippines, then you have something shady going on.
That's the Vice President of Imani Africa, Bright Simmons, at a press conference yesterday. My colleague Joseph Akable has been looking into the facts and the claims made by Imani Africa yesterday. He joins us in studio with more. Joseph, what have you found out about the activities of this particular company?
And so first, on the World Bank sanctions in Cambodia, it's happened in 2004. We have cited a copy of the World Bank's annual integrity report for the fiscal year 2005-2006 that captures this incident. The one-year ban was actually imposed on Thales Engineering for breaching consulting guidelines. This company is a subsidiary of the Thales Group. There are a series of reports relating to the company's activities in various countries. For instance, in September 2018, the Estonian authorities embarked on illegal action geared at retrieving some 152 million from Gemalto. It's important to note that Thales acquired Gemalto in 2019.
Well, do we have any response from the Electoral Commission yet?
We've reached out to the Commission. They said they won't comment for now, but say that they are preparing an appropriate response, which they will release in due course.
Well, that's my colleague Joseph Akable bringing us details of that. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll hear about an old woman's last wish.
Before I die, I want to also sleep on a mattress. Now, I don't even have a mattress.
Was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Good things come in two, Sampa. And Nunti, from the second month of the year, for 2 months, DSTV is giving you 2 months DSTV access subscription instead of one when you buy a DSTV Zapper. Nothing so. Yes, step you up more than last month. Just pay for a higher package and DSTV will step you up to the one above that from 40 Ghana cedis all month long. SMS DSTV to 1731 and we will call you back or call 0302 740 540. DSTV, feel every moment.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports quickly.
You know the Manchester Derby.
Please give me what's in latest.
So tonight is the Manchester Derby between Accra Hearts of Oak and Accra Great Olympics. And the Dade Boys lie 15th on the Ghana Premier League table and have already sacked 3 managers after 13 matches this season. But the fans are confident the club will survive at the Ghana Premier League.
We want to be in the top 4. You see, some of the radio stations say Olympics, we come and we go. No, we are not going this time. We want to prove to them, you people, that we are not going. We are not going. We are staying and play in the top 4. I'm telling you.
How many coaches Manchester United sacked before they finish the season? Olympics is from Burkina Faso or is from China. Olympics from how do you call it? Coronavirus country. Or the coronavirus catch Olympics. That's why we cannot play in the Premier League.
So there are fans of Accra Great Olympics, and they are up against Accra Hearts of Oak 7 p.m. at the Accra Sports Stadium. Who are you rooting for?
Only midday news.
Only coronavirus.
Now you heard the voice of our head of our political desk. It means that the election headquarters will go live tomorrow with a massive people-centered launch of our coverage of the 2020 elections. The weight of the entire multimedia group will be on display at this launch as we bid to once again lead the way with the most comprehensive and people-centered coverage of our elections. This year, the theme for our coverage is having an informed electorate. And Evans Mensah is the head of our political desk. He joins me in studio with more on tomorrow's launch. What are we to expect, Mr. Evans Mensah?
I like the Mr. Evans Mensah, but it makes me feel 70 years old. But what we're going to expect, every election year we adopt the description election headquarters. And this tomorrow, the difference from what we've done the last few years is that we want to launch our coverage and make it people-centered. We're going to come from the central business district for obvious reasons, because that's where you find everybody, a mixture of people, every representation of what is Ghana can be found there, so we can get them to interact with the guests who will be passing through. We say passing through, we're not going to have a stage where people are going to sit and deliver speeches. No. We don't want this to be about the political and politicians and the elite. It's about the people. So they'll pass through. They will interact with the audiences, the ordinary people, the everyday Ghanaian will come in there, ask questions of these people. We're going to also have an opportunity to tell you in detail what we're going to do for you in terms of the coverage this year. At the end of the day, our objective, as you said, is to have an informed electorate. And tomorrow, don't forget, anybody's invited. Once you vote, come to the forecourt of the AMA Central Business District and participate.
And even if you don't vote, you can still come as well. We'll tell you more subsequently. And government's poverty alleviation program, Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, currently offers cash handouts to some 330,000 households in the country, which represents an estimated 1.65 million people. There are, however, an estimated 750,000 more poor Ghanaians who are not beneficiaries. One of them is Yaya Kwanjit, a resident of Sambona in the Northeast region, who is yearning to be included in the program before she dies. Jojo Kobna has more.
In the heart of Sambona, a community in the Northeast region, is Yaya Kwanjit, an old lady who does not know her age. But she firmly maintains that she's way younger than she looks currently. She blames poverty for draining all youthful juices in her, leaving her blind and old. She lost her sight after giving birth to her second child. Yaya lost her husband and recounts everything took a downward turn. She tries to define what poverty means to her.
Poverty is when you depend on people for everything. Poverty is when you want to eat banku and fish, pussy, drink malt, and any other drink, but you don't have the means.
She gropes for her stick, getting ready to prepare breakfast. But there are days that Yaya Kwanjit goes without any food.
There are days I have nothing. Sometimes the people of this community assume I'm okay. Those are the days I have nothing but depend on water.
She has been sleeping on the bare floor all her life and rarely sleeps on a mat. But Yaya has one last wish before she dies.
Before I die, I want to also sleep on a mattress. Now, I don't even have a mat. And the only thing I want is a mattress.
Jojo Kobna, Joy News.
And that's it for the midday news. Our top stories. Authorities of Jema District Hospital yet to take delivery of chemicals to fight stench in facility as bodies of Kintampo accident victims begin to rot. Well, live from the hospital there, and also concerns over preparedness to deal with coronavirus at some of Ghana's land borders questioned as Togo, Nigeria and Burkina Faso all record cases of the deadly disease that has claimed over 4,000 lives so far. And that's it for the midday news. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for your company.
What kind of phone is this? Hey, Joe, it's the coloring to have a radio. Chance not for you. Uber upgrade. Shasuna dial *120*1#. Nabeka MTN Brazil level promo. If we and Yakopim, every Busumi in a year, would your Kosuna use with MTN number? No. Do more. Now with me, we need one of the 20,000 iPro Amber 5S phones. Cafe door. Bob, come on. Test it. Now, for Chama Monica. Abena. Kaisa Ubechenu Rintono. So, Osaka iPro Amber 5S phone. MTN Brazil level promo. New year, new phone, new ringtone. We are good together. We're there for you everywhere you go.
It's a new day. Are you ready to make a change? A new partner to journey your way to explore the things you never imagined. You're ahead of the race. Committed to you. A partner for life, yeah.
Forward together.
Multimedia Group Limited, in partnership with SES, KNET and WillowAfric.com's e-learning project Willow TV, presents Joy Learning, a channel dedicated to providing educational content for all levels. The channel launches with a special focus on senior high school educational content because we believe in nourishing the minds of the future generation. Joy Learning is providing equal access to education, no matter whom you are and where you are in Ghana. Joy Learning collaborates with SES, KNET and Willow TV to deliver a new learning experience. Study with Ghana's top teachers and lecturers on the Joy Learning channel, so individuals, senior high schools, community centers and libraries get your multi-TV digibox now. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
They came, they proved their mettle. Now it's time to rock the world. 5 of the Prime Studio talents will qualify to the next stage of Prime Studio competition. They have 4 weeks to show their musical skills and vocal power. In order to make it to the final round, who qualifies is the Deadly Vibes, Young Tuga, Okesie, Naja, Good Boy Legend, Nicole, Amin Ola, Arte, Kwame Sticker, and topmost, Remember that you have what it takes to vote for your favorite contestants to the top. Vote for your favorite contestant by texting PS followed by the name of your favorite contestant to the short code 1903 to increase your chances of making it to the final round. Watch Prime Studio live Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on Joy Prime. Joy Prime, real entertainment.
It's been 3 years since the Joy Business Van featured the Doorman.
My name is Francisco Vigan, CEO of Doorman Foods, and I'm so happy to show you what has changed since the last time you guys came here. When we started, we just had, we didn't even have a recipe. We just had someone who was making donuts in our brains. We started with three people, myself, my wife, and then a friend of ours. We started as 3 people. Now we have over 20 employees. We didn't have a kitchen. We didn't have anywhere we could even make the donuts. Since the last time, we've added on more flavors. Now we have a bigger kitchen. We have bigger storage. We can take on more things, more orders. We even have a chef now.
Retracing the success story of Doorman Foods this Wednesday on the Joy Business Van on TV, radio, online and on ground. It is powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Bringing hope to many around the globe, transforming lives into legacies. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.
It's time for the nation's biggest annual health and fitness event. Saturday, 28th March will be a blast as we hit the road with Life Walk 2020. Join Pastor Mensa Otabil and the International Central Gospel Church as we walk for life. Bring the entire family along as we exercise together and support a worthy cause. Life Walk 2020 starts and finishes at the Independence Square. Starting time, 5:30 a.m. prompt. Prepare to walk for 3 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 9 kilometers, or the full 12 kilometers. Life Walk 2020 is in support of the Mental Health Authority. Purchase your officially recognized walking tag at 10 Ghana cedis from the nearest ICGC assembly. Buy as many as you can, even if you're not walking for any reason. Wear your tag with pride as you support the delivery of mental health care in Ghana. Life Walk 2020, supporting mental health in Ghana.
And now, today's word.
I'm continuing my message entitled Talent, Work, and Profit. I am convinced with all my heart that every individual has got a talent. Every individual. No matter your station in life, no matter your experience, no matter your background, your race, no matter the level of your education, every individual has got something to offer in life. We are in this world not by accident, but by divine plan. The reason why you are here is because God wants you to be here. If God did not want you to be here, you wouldn't be here. And God will not want you to be here for nothing. God brought us here because there is something we can do. As a matter of fact, there is something only us can do. What I can do, nobody can do. And what you can do, nobody can do. We are all unique and special in our creation and in our abilities. And that's why it's important for us to discover our talent, work with our talent, and be able to generate profit. In the previous sessions, we have looked at the book of 2 Kings, chapter 4, verses 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, 1 to 7. It's important for us to go back to that scripture because the basis of what I'm teaching today will be found in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. A certain man of the widows of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried out to Elisha, saying, Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant fear the Lord. And the creditor is coming to take my 2 sons to be his slaves. So Elisha said to her, What shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? And she said, Your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Then he said, Go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons, then pour it into all those vessels, and set aside the full ones. So she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons, who brought the vessels to her. And she poured it out. Now it came to pass when the vessels were full that she said to her son, Bring me another vessel. And he said to her, There is not another vessel. So the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God. And he said, Go sell the oil, pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. This is a very interesting story. It's a story about the prophet Elisha and this woman whom the Bible calls the wife of a prophet. The prophet had died, so this woman is a widow. And she had serious problems. And as I said earlier, the fact that your husband dies, the fact that you have your own personal problems, does not mean that people will forgive you of your problems. If your husband died, you still have to pay school fees. You still have to pay a light bill. You still have to meet today's current problems. And so your personal calamity will not exempt you from the vicissitudes of life. The vicissitude is a big word meaning troubles. It's one of the words that preachers use often to let everybody know we are preachers. Everybody will face some vicissitude in life, and your personal calamity will not exempt you from the problems of life. And Elisha ministered to this woman and created an opportunity for the problems of the woman to be solved. The passage we read presents 8 points or 8 steps that Elisha took the woman through in order to solve her problem. And I believe those 8 steps are applicable to you today because you also have some problems. Everyone has some problems to solve. The first one is the question, what do you have in your house? Everybody has something to give. The next one is go borrow vessels. We must begin by acquiring what we don't have. And I believe that those vessels there in our time can be applicable to knowledge. Go and acquire knowledge. Number 3, don't limit the vessels. Don't take just a few, take a lot of them. Number 4, go inside your room. And for today, we will continue with number 5, which I will dwell a little bit on today. Elisha says to the woman, when you go inside your room, shut the door. Tell the person next to you, shut the door. Every one of us would have to learn to shut the doors of our life. If you're going to achieve anything in life, if you're going to make sure that what you embark on becomes successful, you must learn to shut the door. To shut the door means, number 1, to focus on your objectives in life. No interferences, no disturbances. Focus. Tell your neighbor, focus. You know, every person who has been able to elevate himself from the ordinary to the extraordinary, from the average to the excellent. Everyone who has moved from nothing into something has learned to focus in life. People who want to do everything never get anything done. A lot of us spend our lives opening our lives to everybody's suggestion. You decide to study. Your best friend comes and says, let's go and buy some ice cream. Now, if you know that you're supposed to study, you must shut the door. Focus on what you're doing. Because your life must not be lived at the expense of other people's desires. Your life must be lived at the expense of your vision and of your purpose in life. You must know what you want. You must close the door, and you must focus on what you are doing. The reason why Elisha told the woman to shut the door is because what she was going to do was very, very silly. Why is it silly? Can you imagine a woman who has all these barrels, big ones, small ones, crooked ones, large ones, thin ones, long, fat, assorted barrels in her house. And she has a bottle of oil, and she begins to pour this oil into these barrels. Don't you think if you saw such a woman, you would laugh at her? Because what she was doing would not appear sensible. And Elisha said, shut the door, because people will laugh at what you are doing. People will mock your effort. People will make light of your effort to solve your problem. So you must shut the door. When you shut the door, you make sure that you don't allow negative critics to discourage you. Everything that you embark on to do, which will set you above other people, looks funny in the eyes of average people. Because if everybody is at this level, level 1, and their behavior is based on level 1 behavior, and you want to go to level 2, you are going to act a little bit different from them. And what you do will not be acceptable to them. If, for example, you are a bunch of housewives, and all that you do is every day you get up in the morning, your husband goes to work, and you get up in the morning, you gather around a friend's house, and you gossip. That's your full-time job. And then just before your husband comes home, you rush home, go and fix some food for him, and he comes to eat. That's your full-time job. You have a committee of gossipers, an association, incorporated, Gossipers Incorporated. And then all of a sudden, maybe you come to church one day and I challenge you and I say, hey, go for knowledge, go for knowledge. So all of a sudden you tell your people, I don't even understand English. I can't speak English well, but I am going to register at the Workers' College to start studying English. You know what your friends will do? They'll start gossiping about you, laughing at you, and saying you are going out of your mind. You know why? Because they are abnormal. When you become normal, you look abnormal to them. Did you know that mad people think that we are mad? It's true. Talk to any madman. He'll tell you are mad. Because in his state, you are abnormal. In his state of normalcy, you are abnormal. When people deviate from what has been accepted as the normal within any society, they are considered to be abnormal. When you deviate from what is normal within any society, you are considered abnormal. And that's why, even for us Africans, we are struggling with development. Because normal in our context is underdevelopment. And when you decide to go up, you become abnormal. You are not in the mode of the normal. But I'm telling you, you need to be abnormal in Africa. You can't be normal here. You have to be abnormal. You have to move from the status quo. And when you do that, people will point fingers at you. People will tell you, you are different. You are unacceptable. You are doing something too much. and in our country, we'll say you are too known. I can't understand how any human being can know too much. It's not possible for anybody to be too known, because knowledge is infinite, so you cannot have too much of it. So shut the door. People will criticize, people will say things about you, people will make funny jokes about you, but shut the door. When I decided to be a pastor, I felt God had called me. I said I want to be a pastor. And I quit my job, resigned from my job. And my best friend at that time, when I told him God has called me to be a pastor, I've put in my letter of resignation and I'm going to be a pastor. My best friend looked at me straight in the face and said, "You are a fool." Yeah, he told me that. And I said, "Thank you." He was still my friend. I didn't abandon him, but I ignored his pronouncement. Because when people don't have your convictions, they cannot have your perception. So shut the door. There are critics you must listen to. Sometimes they are not negative, they are constructive. Sometimes even negative critics are helpful because they motivate you to go faster. When you're doing something that nobody talks about, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Because if you're doing the right thing, somebody is going to criticize it. Apart from negative critics, the other people you have to shut the door to are praise singers. We have abundance of that in our culture. Appellations. People will sing your high praises and swell your head till it explodes. We live in a country where below average is extolled as excellent. A little boy invents a helicopter out of this used milk tin. And all that the thing can do is for the fan to move around. And it's front page news. That's Ghana. We've forgotten that these things started flying in 1905. In 1905, they were flying. And if in this time you only turn the propeller, you haven't done nothing. You say, but that's a young boy. Yes, his counterparts in other parts of the world are not playing with milk things. They are flying things. Let's not encourage ordinariness. Let us put pressure on ourselves till we can perform beyond the average. Your greatest enemy probably will be average. Being normal. Accepting what is there. Shut the door. Tell your neighbor, shut the door. It's important to shut the door. If any of us, and if our continent, Africa, will make any progress, we even have to shut the door on our past. Because I believe sometimes your past can be your greatest enemy. Because the past can steal from your future. The past, which we have called our culture, most of the time prevents us from change. And no society can develop without change. I have come to the point where I don't accept things as African because it was done 100 years ago. Because that which was done 100 years ago in Africa is not the same thing I must do today. But in my time, I must define for myself what I want to do with my life.
Thank you for listening to Living Word. To interact with Pastor Mensa Otabil, like his page on Facebook. Follow him on Twitter @Mensa Otabil. Email otabil@centralgospel.com or call +233 302 688 000.
celebrate our 25th anniversary, praise and thanks must go to those who deserve it. In the beginning, God, who has expanded us exceedingly and brought us to a pleasant place. Indeed, our inheritance is delightful. Psalm 16:6. All praise, glory, and honor to Christ at work in multimedia, who causes us to accomplish exceedingly abundantly above what we ever ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20.
Celebrating 25 years.
Get ready for more explosive fun on your favorite late afternoon radio show, Drive Time on Joy. Yo, 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 yo. My name is Lexus Bale. Join me every weekday from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Let's jam to great tunes, have great laughs, and win loads of goodies. Every Friday, you stand a chance of winning an all expenses paid hangout at an exclusive location with 4 of your friends on our Drive Parties Party. Explore G8 will take you around Ghana to see amazing sights. Plus, let's have intriguing travel conversations on our travel series every Thursday. Every Wednesday, the Drive Doctor comes with good health education. Your favorite role models and public figures will share their inspirational stories on Personality Profile every Thursday. And your favorite celebrities will pull through on Behind the Fame every Monday. You know where your dial should be logged every afternoon. Drive Time on Joy with Lexus B.